Most people who require high-performance tuning prefer to use a chassis dynamometer. The G-Dyno is a dynamometer using high-tech components from Orient S&T. What follows is a general description of how it works. Open the G-Dyno control system by double-clicking the desktop icon. The program will check all the relevant sensors and devices attached to the computer and run a self-diagnostic to prepare for the test. If there is a problem, the program will notify you of its nature, and troubleshooting is simple. This is the main window. There are many gauges on the screen that allow you to monitor variables such as velocity, torque, power, and so forth. A car can be tested under one of the different modes provided by G-Dyno, such as dynamic mode, gain mode, etc. And using the program, you can even perform a ramp up or down test or a transmission resistance test. When a program is completed, the data is shown on the curve and process view for you to review and tune. You can also take a snapshot of a group of data during the test. Now, let's take a look at the main menu. This always shows the functionality of a program. The file menu includes save, load test items, and data import, export, print items, etc. In the view menu, you can select what to show on the screen. You can choose a test mode through the tests menu. Some of the often used test modes can be quickly selected through toolbar icons. The Tools menu also includes settings and maintenance tools. Now, let's examine the main modes. First, enter the dynamic mode, which is a constant speed mode. You will be able to see the control panel on the right side, where you can input the target speed. With start-release buttons, when a car runs on a roll bed, the speed will be controlled right on the target value. Next is the gain mode. This is a mode to test the maximum output of a car with ramp testing. In the control panel, you can examine parameters like start speed, maximum speed, elapsed time at the top value, ramp rate, etc. The ramp rate is similar to the upgrade and downgrade. Any test point can be snapshot and restored. The test results are displayed in curve and process view, where you can analyze the data. Also, there are other modes, such as speedometer check. It is a simple but useful function to check the accuracy of the speedometer in your car. The featured function, transmission loss test mode, is quite often used when your car is modified. From the transmission loss curve, it is very clear how effectively the car chassis utilizes the engine output. Furthermore, the engine net output curve reflects the performance of the engine. Now, let's examine the ramp test under gain mode. First, enter the gain mode through the menu. You can see the control panel and curve and process view on screen. Set parameters on the control panel. Hold speed to 60 km an hour. Ramp ratio to 1 km an hour a second. Max speed to 120 km an hour. And then set the running time for 5 seconds. Run a car onto the roll bed. push the lifter beam button and let the lifter down. You must be sure to fasten the car correctly and be aware of safety throughout this test. Start the engine and push the accelerator pedal gently to around 60 km an hour. Push the hold button. Now the speed will be held at 60 km an hour. Then, gently depress the pedal fully. The engine power will increase, but the speed will be held on 60 km an hour. Push the start button after the speed remains stable. The car speed will then rise up automatically with a ramp rate 1 km an hour a second. The car speed will stay on 120 km an hour and remain there for 5 seconds. Now, the testing is finished. Please release the pedal. The computer will monitor the speed to its minimum level, then the test results come out on the screen. Look over the curve. You can choose the data to examine in curve and process view. The x-axis is speed. The solid line is power and dotted line is torque. You can compare the results after tuning for 2 ramp tests if you so wish. All results are displayed in curve and process view together. Please note, all parameter settings should be the same for accurate comparisons. Now, the transmission loss test mode. You can check your car's powertrain transmission loss. Enter the transmission loss test mode and follow the prompts. Run a car onto the roll bed. Push the lifter beam button and let the lifter down. You must be sure to fasten the car correctly and be aware of safety throughout this test. Set the maximum speed at 120 km an hour in the control panel. Start the engine and let the car run at 120 km an hour. Push the clutch pedal down according to the prompts on the screen. There are two procedures which are similar, although the second procedure is shorter. Now the test is finished, and you can see the loss curve. If you have done a ramp test before, both curves will be displayed. After this, the engine output curve will be displayed. There are also other test modes not mentioned here, so please refer to the operation manual for details. In most cases, people like to compare test results after tuning. There are useful software functions in the curve and procedure view to enable this. You can enter this function through the View menu. There are two different types in this menu, Test View and Analyze View. The test procedure data and curves are stored automatically following a ramp test. When other test modes are run, you can opt to store the data in curve and procedure view. There are different colors to identify different curves, as you will be able to see. The data needed to be displayed can also be selected. For example, power versus speed can be selected and contrasted. can also add a dotted line curve through Curve and Process View so that you can see, for example, power and torque versus speed together. Zoom function lets you view curves easily, and you can adjust the axis scale by drag and drop mouse. The curve can be moved by clicking on it and dragging it to the desired location. The axis and curves can be matched automatically by clicking Auto Fit. Move the mouse to anywhere on a curve and click the X and Y value where the mouse pointed will be displayed in the right window. Besides data storage, loading and printing, there are more featured functions. For example, test results comparisons. To load other test results for comparisons, select Import data from another test from the file drop list. Choose a test file and its data. The results will be loaded onto current testing, and the curves from the loaded data will also be displayed. The test results can also be imported to Microsoft Excel if you so wish. You can then use Excel's functions to manage the data. There are more functions not mentioned in this video, and for any assistance on these, please read the operation manual. This program makes optimizing the performance of your car easy. Please contact our technicians if you need more information or assistance, and happy tuning!